So part of this is, how do we keep ourselves safe? How do we keep our families safe, our kids safe at school? All of these things are really done to each individual person's best ability. It's kind of like being honest. You know, if you're being honest about something, you know if you're doing your best. You know, at times you get beat down and you're not quite at your best. Those are the times you really got to focus on and try to come up with a way to push through, but maybe alter what you're doing a little bit to make it easier on yourself, but to try to, again, protect all of our kids. There are what are called engineering and administrative controls that have been enacted in the schools and in everywhere that you go. There's the plexiglass shields, there's the traffic patterns on the floor of the shopping markets. Those are more controls that are done that are not things that we can necessarily control ourselves unless we're the ones who are making those changes. They're designed to minimize everyone's exposure to COVID and any respiratory illness, any kind of illness that can be transmitted from person to person. That's what those controls are there for. So the masks is our own personal protective equipment, and while even though we have the mask, it shouldn't take the place of other prevention strategies that you can do at home and be thinking of how to make things better and easier for you to help your kids take care of their masks and keep their hands clean and trying to keep them safe and healthy. The mask should be selected, fitted, and periodically refitted if needed. If you notice, I wear a tight-fitting mask while I'm at work, so I have to shave. I can't have facial hair. Even though there's some that are permitted, if you're in my position, I would not have any facial hair at all. The difference with these kind of masks is the facial hair does kind of distance the mask from the mouth. If the mask is directly up against the mouth, it's like having a tube with the mask right up against it, and you're basically forcing the air down the tube right through the mask. As the mask expands out, if it's made out of certain types of cloth, the holes get larger, and so larger droplets can go through some types of material. So distancing the mask from the user's mouth by a little short space allows some of that air to dissipate. It allows more turbulent flow of the air, and more of the droplets are likely to get trapped on the surface of the mask and not breathe through the mask out into the environment. The masks that you have need regular inspection, maintenance, and replace them as necessary. If they start getting worn and you can't fix it, maybe time to replace the mask and just retire one instead of it causing problems. They should be properly cleaned, stored, disposed of as applicable. With cleaning the cloth mask, really any kind of detergent, any kind of mild detergent. You can make a light bleach solution, 5,000 parts per million bleach, which is a cup and a half of regular bleach like Clorox in a gallon of water. It makes an approximation of a 5,000 part per million bleach solution. You can use that for spraying, cleaning. It is enough to bleach some clothes, but some clothes are more bleach resistant, and the dyes are more bleach resistant. It's not entirely necessary with what we're trying to do, but try to make them as comfortable as possible. Try to rinse them out very, very thoroughly so that you're not constantly breathing in bleach or detergent, and your kids aren't either. It's irritating the eyes and more likely that they're going to touch their face as a result of having masks that smell strange. Another thing is assume that everyone has COVID. Assume that everyone around you has it, and you don't know it, and you try to do what you can, again within reason, but you try to do what you can to prevent that kind of contact with other people, because you just don't know with this. It's what we've seen since it was being studied in China, and then it hit Seattle and New York so hard. Some of my colleagues that I've talked to since late February and early March that initially started seeing this, they're emergency medicine physicians that are in the major cities of the U.S. I've talked to them personally, and they just did not know who had it. They started testing. They found out that so many other people were asymptomatic and tested positive for this. So as this comes into our area more, it just has not hit here hard yet. As it comes into the area more, you've got to assume that people have it. Practice some of these things, get good at them, and it will become more second nature. it's that assumption of people that are around you that have it that's an important concept for people to realize. Treat all objects as potentially contaminated. So when I came in here with the podium, I got some bleach wipes or Clorox wipes, wiped it down, allowed the drying time while it was wet. So I know that what I'm putting my hands on here, I know where I am and what has been cleaned, what I've cleaned, and I just kind of don't trust anybody's cleaning. So I do things myself and don't assume that things are completely clean. Unless you do them yourself and at home. I would trust that the schools are cleaning things as much as they can, as vigorous as they can. And I've had some discussions with Superintendent Olson about the cleaning of the classrooms and what our kids are going to be going through. And I would trust that they're doing a great job. If you touch a surface that's been disinfected and your hands aren't straight from being disinfected, well, consider trying to wipe it down again if you can. It may need to be disinfected. They really go for the high touch areas. So doorknobs, again, your phone. Wipe your phone down with bleach every day. That's a great thing that carries particles and other nasty stuff. So learn how to take the case off, wipe it down, just get it thoroughly clean as often as you think about it. If you must touch your face, perform the hand hygiene before and after. Carry the hand sanitizer. If you're in doubt, take a small squirt of sanitizer or try to wash your hands. Don't try to touch anything until you're able to wash your hands. So again, it all comes back to hands are the really big issue. Recognize that not everyone has the same habits as you. Not everybody may be as clean as you'd like to be. Not everybody is, or there are some people who are way more clean than you would want to be. You just do your best to trying to learn from everyone, but try to make what you learn, try to ensure that it just falls in line with the best practices that are currently being recommended. Again, with hand hygiene and sanitizer time, of surfaces being wet after being cleaned, and you do the best that you can. That's all anybody can really ask. So we're all counting on everyone here. We're all counting on teachers, we're counting on parents, we're counting on kids. We don't know exactly what the future holds. It's expected that some people may get sick, and all we can do as a community is help them and help prevent this spread as long as we can. And I thank you for your time. If you need, or if I can answer questions for you, please feel free. My email will probably be a part of this at the end, and I'd be happy to try to answer questions if I can for you. Thank you for your time.